and the world, racism, Africans and the world. If you grew up in Ghana, for instance, if you grew up in especially the western part of Africa, your interaction with the rest of the world, you would think that you're a human being. Our confidence is that high if you grew up here, and you don't think that another person will think that you're not a human being. Then you travel and you meet other people, and they think that you're not full human being, especially if you meet Caucasians, white. Not everybody, but most of them. As a matter of fact, the culture is built like that. The way Africa has been promoted, Africa has been branded as a very backward continent, negative. We've been tagged as people who are hungry and at war and killing ourselves. And some other, the British and the Americans have really done a very terrible job in trying to present us as a people who need help constantly, and who look at our presidents and how the structures that are run around it. So I was in school, and I happened to listen to this talk a lot. I was learning. Anytime I was around my friends, the Europeans, I was in an international residence, so all kind of people were from, we were living with all kind of people, those from America, England, Ireland, and whenever I was talking to them, South Africans, white South Africans, and whenever I was talking to them, sometimes I felt funny, because I didn't have the memory of somebody thinking that I'm intellectually impaired, but you could see. And then I started to study, I started to read. You could see that, no, these guys would think that you're not. At a personal level, it's okay. You have a friend who is okay, but even that is your friend. But racism, as we understand it, we think that it's just prejudice. It's just somebody trying to say that I don't like black people. If you really study it, it's a structure, it's a system, it's a power play. And racism is actually a recent phenomenon which became heightened, or which came into being when the Europeans, the British, the Dutch, the Portuguese, when they came thinking that, they were powerful, they were more powerful. They thought that they were more powerful than us. They thought that they were more advanced, and they started to build a lot of ideologies and theories around it, through religion, through science, where they classify us as subhumans, and we still have some of them defending this kind of error. So even modern day institutions, look at G8. Why is African countries, why we will sit down and say that these are G8 countries, this is developed country, this is not developed country, this is where from all these definitions? Why would somebody say that he's an African expert and is a European living in America? It's a structure, it's economic power play to make sure that these kind of people are kept down. And they had to do that to justify the atrocities that they have sent Africa and everybody who looks like us through. So for the last 600, 700 years, this is where racism came into being. Some Africans try to compare racism and tribalism. Tribalism is just tribal prejudice. Yes, once in a while you have some people trying to kill others because of their tribe. But in my country, for instance, in Ghana, whether you are Asante or whether you are Dagomba, nothing prevents you from becoming a president. Nothing prevents anybody. Nobody is paid high up just because it's a fancy person or anyway. We have our own way of laughing and ridiculing ourselves, but it's not institutionalized. If you kill somebody, nobody will go to defend you just because you're an away. No institution will prevent you. Nobody will justify your stupidity. But if you go to some of these countries that are run by Caucasians, by white, if they kill another black person, they just try to push it and they talk, but eventually they do nothing. But let another black person kill somebody. It's almost a threat. You are a dangerous human being if you look black. I remember in England, I was in a lift and this guy just came, just hit me, just because I look black. Look at all the visa issues that they put across. Look at the planes that will come to Africa, how much they charge. And look at the planes that will move from England to America. And look at how much they charge. The world system has been structured so that Africa will continue to be poor and Africa will continue to be backward. And then you have a lot of Africans who have not studied this, who don't understand this, who just talk out of emotions and say that, we can't blame anybody. We are not blaming anybody. But without proper understanding of a situation, you have no chance trying to give a solution. So you have to understand it, then you can take responsibility for what it is. If you don't understand it, you cannot take responsibility. Racism is a power structure that gives economic power to one race, in this instance to the white race, and against the blacks. Look at what happened in America. It was illegal for you to give somebody who looked like me an education, to even buy a land. When they made any effort, they killed them. When they were doing these things in those countries, they were still doing the same thing in our country. Education was given just to the privileged. Here, the British were here, the Europeans were here for years, but education was not for everybody. It was not mass education. Kwabena and Marie is the one who started to educate us en masse. Why? They stayed here for all these years. Why didn't they develop here? Just scanty, just 1 year later there. And even that, those were done so that they could move a lot of the raw materials. And it's all because we look different. The world had never treated human beings as inferior just because of their color, or somebody superior just because of their skin color. It started to come when they started to introduce slavery and colonization. And it's not because they were powerful. That's why they colonized us or they empowered us. No, because the Arabs had come here and they had destroyed a lot before the Europeans even came. That's why you can see a lot of black people living in Saudi Arabia. And look at how they treat them. Look at how they treat them. And we were living in tribes. All people live in tribes. We had a lot of tribes. Our differences were in our tribes. We had kingdoms. We didn't say that somebody was fed so that they were better, or somebody had lighter skin so they were more intelligent. If they tell you that they came here and they will look in the mirror and they had never seen themselves, those are all bullshit. Those are all lies. You see, those are the things that they talk to continue to raise their intelligence, so to say. We had gold. Our kings were putting gold on their head. If they had no technology, how could they mine the gold and ship them into final use? Our kings had all those around them. The kente clothes that we were making, all those things, we lived in kingdoms. We lived before they came. But when they came, they started to tell the lies. Just as you can see how they tell lies on Africa, even up to date. When there is anything, the one that is about Africa is the negative. And the one that is about them is they promote the positive. So if you're an African, you have to understand this. Racism is different from tribalism, and racism is a power play. That's why you don't have to hate a white person. Not any individual is really a racist. It's just racially prejudiced. A structure is what is called systemic, and you have to understand that the structure that is protecting one person, one group of people, and victimizing the other group of people, and preventing them from accessing power. Controlling. Why is it that America has produced all these presidents and only one who was black, and he even happened to have a mother who was white, and that was even a big nose, So it's a whole different thing. They are not the same. But at the end of this century, the world will be over 40% blacks, black. So another 100 years, the world will change seriously, and we have to live behind this structure and treat all humans. The world has done evil to Africans for far too long, and that especially the white people, they have done a lot of evil around the world, and they have to actually take responsibility and change some of these things than trying to prevent them. Because whether they like it or not, this is built to fail. It's going to come to a time that you cannot play color. Color will speak for you. I was watching a movie and a white woman or white man said that, and I was like, wow. So once they come here, their color speaks for them. Once they go there, their color speaks for them. And if you're black, your color speaks against you. But we can change this narrative. They use religion, they use science, they use their media, they use all the institutions. We are not blaming, but we are saying that wake up. It's a whole different world. Don't hate anybody because of their skin color. But understand the structure and the power play. You go to Asia, go through any airport if you're black. Look at the respect they give us. They give us nothing. They all think that we are rappers and we are killers. That's the kind of image that they have put on Africa. And we have seemed to have bought that. We seem to have bought that. Americans, for instance, they hardly promote American scientists who are blacks, engineers, entrepreneurs who are blacks. They are always promoting entertainment, sportsmen, as if thinking is that tough for